like to go to Debyani and request her to share her thoughts for towards this fantastic topic we are going to discuss today.
Thank you, Runa. Thank you, Gururaj. So, uh, first of all, this is an excellent platform to talk, to connect for this extraordinary situation where we are today because of the COVID. Now, when we talk about business in this extraordinary time, how did we prepare our workforce and especially the managers and the business to deal with this situation? So if I go back to the past, we let's talk about March, which is third week or fourth week of March. That is the time when we started, before the government declared the Janta curfew. We started with the business continuity plan, and we already were in the process of doing the pilot for work from home for 100% workforce. That is the time when we also learned that the work from home, which we think is the right of today's workforce, but at the same time, when we all go for work from home at the same time, what kind of challenges we can face. And that is the time when typically the line managers came back to us and said that we are not able to connect, we are not able to see. If we are not able to see, we are not able to understand. We are not able to understand that whether if I'm allocating a task to a particular person, whether he's acknowledging it is not acknowledging. And that is the time when we also realize that we have to do much more than just doing work from home. With this business continuity plan and working from home, we started about the engagement plan for managers, which is specifically the mid-level managers. We also started with the evaluation of the productivity during the work from home. And that is the time when the government also declared 100% kind of a work from home. When we talk about our mid-level managers, who are basically the techies, who are the gig people, for them, engaging with people offline is something very rare. They generally love to talk about technology. They generally love to talk about the work which is allocated. And they generally like to talk about work which is done and not done. Now, in this virtual scenario, when we ask them whether you are engaged with your team or not, the expressions were very different. We have to come into a picture at that point of time, and we have to guide them, help them in terms of doing a daily stand-ups, where it is a kind of definitely a stock taking of every day, but at the same time also to understand what is happening with the team. Secondly, we also released an SOP, which is a standard operating procedure, which talks about you have to check the well-being of each team member in your team. When I say you have to check the well-being, that doesn't mean you have to go and ask that whether you have fever or not. But yes, overall, you're in touch with the team, understanding that yes, how are they doing, whether anybody in their home is unwell or not, or something of those sorts. And these which we have made it as a standard procedure, which is mandatory. We used to start taking the stock of it every second day, and we start helping them if they are getting stuck anywhere, which is the mid-level managers. Also, we created a forum which we call a managers meet forum, which is specifically created to understand the bottlenecks which they are facing in this difficult scenario to get the work done, as well as getting in touch with the team members. All the mid-level managers, they came in, they are, it's a kind of a forum which is a digital forum, or a kind of a VC kind of a forum, where they come in touch with us as an HR people. They share their challenges, and we together try to solve it. If not solve it, at least try to address it for that point of time, and to move forward, how to go ahead with this. This is where we are today. We are also trying to think and move forward tomorrow when we open up. How is the scenario? What is the scenario which is going to happen? Is the engagement is going to improve? Is the engagement is going to deteriorate? And we are also coming out certain initiatives about it, which is definitely in the digital platform, because we don't see anything in another 6 months where we can do a get together kind of a thing, or where we can meet each other. So this is where we are right now. So past we have done the BCP, with the help of the digital platform. Currently, we are helping the line managers and the business wherever we are able to, with calls, with VCs, with the platform like Microsoft Teams, with the platform like WebEx, Zoom, and we are coming out with different and innovative forums where we can see that how we as an HR person will be a great help to them. For the future, we are also coming out with new forums where we can help them to make people more engaged and more productive. That is what from my side.
Devyani, just connecting with the thoughts of Guru Raj, let's also hear from you, how to decide on what to learn and what to unlearn to engage and retain employees. Please share your thoughts how HR assisted the line managers to cope with COVID-19 and beyond in your organization.
Okay, so very interesting question, what to learn and what to unlearn. The most, as we are a tech organization, we are purely into IT product. Most of the workforce, which is our 90%, 95% workforce are techies. They are pure hardcore, either developers, testers, project leads, etc., etc. They are hardcore tech people. For tech people, connecting with employee is very black and white. For us, for HR, there is something called gray. But for techies, it is plain and simple black and white. Yes, yes, no, no. There is nothing in between yes or no. So for them, first of all, we have to reach out to them to tell them that once that person is not in front of you, you have to unlearn the way you used to treat him or her. When I say treat him or her, the way you used to communicate. So here an effective communication comes very handy. So also we got a I'll treat this as a compliment from one of our techie whom in the good days we used to almost push them to go for a communication training, and they used to come back to us and tell us, ma'am, we are the developers, what do we do with the communication training? We are not supposed to communicate. In the sense, we are not supposed to, communication is not that hardcore skill for us. Now the same people are coming back to us and telling us now we can understand the importance of communication, because day in and day out, if I am not able to communicate properly to my team members or to my managers, it is just creating havoc. At the same time, we are also requesting people, managers, to learn. Sensitivity was also there prior, but sensitivity towards the voice modulation. So once you're in a call, you're not able to see the person, you're not able to see the reaction or the happiness or the anger on the feelings on the face of the person, the body language. You also have to start sensing it from the voice. If you're into a VC, the things are much better, so on and so forth. Also, please ask questions as much as possible. This is not only applicable to the techies, this is applicable to we also as an HR person and for all the departments. Because I can see in last 2 months, there are a lot of gaps which are just coming because people are not asking, they're assuming. And the moment they're assuming, because that's the way we used to operate. And when we are in office and we are assuming, there is a chance that if something goes wrong, we will go back to the desk of that person and ask what happened to this. But right now, we have to fix a calendar. Even if we are calling, the call may be busy. If we are fixing a WebEx, the calendar may be blocked. So whenever we are getting a chance, we have to talk extremely clearly and ask questions. So these are the two very, very important things which we help people to unlearn and again learn in terms of clear communication, which is a need for every hour. But at this point of time, probably it becomes the thumb rule for all of us. And to be a little sensitive towards the voice, the modulation, how the person is talking, and so on and so forth.
And for Devyani, I have very interesting question from a young leader, and I'm assuming this question is from a very young person as well, because Deepak from our audience is asking, what different challenges exist for young generation as compared to older generation?
Okay. So the challenges to some extent remain same. To some extent, it is very, very different. For example, when I talk about this generation or a younger generation, we assume in our office also that people who are bachelors, who are staying alone, probably in a PG or a kind of their own accommodation, a one-room accommodation, they are facing a lot of challenge. When I say they are facing a lot of challenge, it is not only from the perspective of work, productivity, or not from the perspective of household, but also from the perspective of there is nobody to talk. The entire day when they are working, they are facing a wall. So that itself is giving them anxiety, a lot of anxiety. One, they are not used to of sitting at home for so long hours. Even if when they're in college or when they join the organization, they are used to of, let's say for example, every 2 hours or 3 hours, some chit chat, a walk for 2 minutes, or just a stroll in the aisle area or something of that sort in the floor. But right now it is not being possible. They're only connected through phone. That's the one of the major problem, because of which one of our esteemed panelists also talked about the wellness coach, which is required so much at this hour. That's number one. Second, for the younger members, the second challenge which they're facing is many of them are coming from either they have stayed in a hospital or they have stayed with their parents for the first time. They're out and they're staying in a PG or a flat. They don't know how to cook. That is adding to an extra anxiety on them because there is a work schedule. So probably there is a 9 to 6 work schedule. Before 9 they have to be ready with the breakfast. There is an X time when they have to be with their lunch. They are not able to tell their IOs or their managers that this is my lunch hour, I will not able to take calls. Those kind of things and are creating a lot of pressure among the freshers, not only freshers, the young generation. Third is also they are not able to go out, not able to watch movies, not able to participate in concerts, not able to go out to the malls, not able to meet their friends. Altogether, the entire thing is, and there are cases with us which is creating a lot of, it is almost reached to a threshold level of where they need some help. We as an HR people are continuously in touch with them. We are talking to them. We are requesting, and the IOs and the reporting manager are also in touch with them. Their friends are in touch with them, but I think we will not able to pull it for a very long time. The social, the nature of our social nature will definitely today, tomorrow, or someday, it is going to take a toll on, especially the younger population. At least the older population or people like us are staying with families. So these are the challenges which the younger population are facing. But as far as productivity is concerned, it has increased for them because they are only working from day to night. There is no time for them. They become more responsible. They become more responsive. They're coming on all the meetings because that is only right now with them as a part of their everyday life. So that's a good part. But yes, sustenance is a big question.
But there is a very interesting question by Achal. So I'm going to ask this question to Devyani. In order to build a digital workforce, do you think we need internal communication application as well, besides HRMS tools? How would you, manage your internal strategy for people, HR priorities, all that priorities you have in such times? So her question is more on our ability to manage internal communication for employees.
Okay, so communication is one of the integral part of HR. And why only HR? It is one of the very integral part of the entire business. When it comes to employee communication, yes, the internal communication is very much required. The standardization of the communication, the intent of the communication, and the way the communication is formed, the footfall and the reading of number of audience who's reading that communication, it all depends on the way the communication is being formed. Also, there are organizations who faces a challenge when there is no communication tool, which is an overloading of emails. So for example, in one day or in a week, there are some communication or broadcasts which need to go from HR, from admin, from infrastructure, from let's say three, four more departments. And there is no proper communication tool. Because of that, it is being broadcast through email, which is coming from the respective department. And what happens at the end of the day is that the urgent and the very important communication get lost in those emails. So as the question, if I understood the question correctly, that it is asking about the importance of the communication tool. Am I right, Runa? Okay. So I hope I'm able to answer your question that it is very, very important, and if it is not there in the long run, we are going to lost the essence of HR communication or any other the organization or the business communication in the folder of in the burden of the emails which we get on a day-to-day basis.